How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. My name is Anthony with AnthonyAwaken.com and Awaken Outdoors, and today we are going to discuss knife strops. So I've got all of my favorite knife strops and sharpening things over here. We're definitely going to focus more on the leather strops today though, and just kind of how I maintenance my knives here at the workbench. So I've got everything from little strops right here that I bring into the field with me up to larger paddle strops right here that are reserved more for the workbench. I've actually already recorded this video one time in the field and I just wasn't happy with the way that I described everything, so we're doing it right back here in the workshop again, and I've got a few other little things to show you all. So let's go ahead, let's turn this camera around and let's dive in. All right, so here's just kind of a quick top-down view of some of my favorite knife strops. I'll break these down in a little bit more detail, but this one is made by JRE Industries. They make a lot of sheaths kind of like this one right here. I'm sure you've probably seen these if you follow LT Wright, Reef Knives, different companies like that. But they make this strop right here and then also this one right here. This one is kind of a just a belt strop that folds up really nice and tidy. This is one of my go-tos for in the field, as well as another one that we'll talk about here in just a moment. These ones right here, again, JRE. And then the good old Work Sharp field sharpener right here. And just talking about stropping, it does have a little bit of a strop on this side. This one right here would be good for something kind of along these lines, like a little pocket knife. It would be good for that, as well as a little fixed blade like this one right here. This one would have no problems at all touching that up. So again, just talking about the leather strop, but this one obviously it has diamond and ceramic as well, which is really nice. This one right here is the marble strop. This one is a really good budget offering. And this one right here is double-sided. So this one I have some green compound, and then I also have just the bare side for finishing. And then over here, this is another good budget offering. These are from Beavercraft, and I am not going to remember the names of these. So we're gonna reference this one as the large, this one as the skinny or the medium, and then this one as just the pocket strop. So again, these ones right here are from Beavercraft. I really like this one right here for the workbench, and this one actually has a lot of steel buildup right now, so we're going to take care of that here in just a moment, and I'll show you all how to do it. But it is also double-sided. So you've got a area that you can put green compound on, and then you also have this one right here for finishing, which is just a smooth leather side. This one right here, I also really like this curved edge right down here, because whenever you're kind of holding it like this right here, and let me just grab a knife real quick. Whenever you are stropping like this, you can move it up and down and kind of change your angle, which is really nice. Like that right there. Super nice. I like that strop a whole lot. That's my go-to here on the workbench. That one right there, and then also the JRE bat strop. Those two are my go-tos for whenever I'm working here. This one right here, this one is, what did we call this one? The skinny. So this one is kind of the middle range between something like this and a travel strop. But this one right here is really nice for a carving knife. And I know I'm pulling this one out quite a bit. But this one right here is perfect for something along those lines right there. Just a skinny little Scandi blade like this right here. Works perfect. Gives you a long area to get your strokes in, and yeah, I really like that one. I do kind of wish that this one was double-sided and had a non-finished side of leather. That way you can use a little bit of compound on this one, and then something else on the back side, or just leave it bare. But going over to the next option from Beavercraft right here, we do have Again, as we're seeing here, we have a side with green compound, and that is about the only compound that I use. I've just got a lot of it, so that's what I use. And this one right here has been freshly applied, so it's looking really nice. Actually, this one has been cleaned recently, is why it looks that good. And again, I'll get to that here in just a minute. But this one back here, it has a smooth side as well for finishing off. So typically what I'll do is I'll do about 5 strokes on this side, and then flip over and do about 10. So the way that that would look is I would do 5 going this direction, 5 going that direction, and then I would switch over and do 10 in that direction, 10 in that direction. So that is kind of the quick, broad look at my strops here. Again, I've got a couple of really nice options. Let's put this in the sheath because that's making me nervous. Lay that to the side with a few other knives, which again, we'll talk about those here in a minute as well. And these two right here are my favorites for in the field use. I really like this one right here if I'm gonna have a Scandi grind knife with me, and then if I've got more like a convex or a saber grind, I'll bring this one right here, just because this one can kind of flex a little bit with the steel and round around that edge. And then this one right here is going to be, you know, hard because it's a piece of wood. So that way I can keep that perfect Scandinavian grind angle. So these two, my favorites for on-the-go use, along with the Work Sharp. Again, this one by itself, yes, you can strop with it, but that's not exactly where this one shines. This one really shines if you're going to be using these diamond and ceramics. This is where I really like this one right here. So if I'm going to be in the field hunting or fishing a lot or out for several days, this is the option that I would bring, just because you can touch up major nicks, but oftentimes I have these two right here in my bag. They take up very little room, as you can see. What is that? Maybe a 3/4 of an inch thick. So these two right here are an excellent option right here. So you spend about 40 bucks, and honestly, you could get a lot of your stuff done even here on the workbench with just these two. Then moving on to the probably 3 that I use the most. I use this one a lot here at this specific workbench. I keep this one beside the bed a lot just because this one is super, super lightweight. These two are the heaviest. This one is super lightweight. So I keep this one just whenever we're just kind of chilling out for the night and I want to touch my knives up whenever I'm laying down before I go to sleep. This one is typically the one that I will do that with, and then these kind of reside right here on the workbench. So if you're looking for something to use, you know, beside the bed, beside the couch, something like this would work out really well. And then these two right here, this is great for, again, a workbench. And if you're trying to decide what to choose between on these, well, this one's got 4 sides. So if you want, you know, a blue, green, and a gray compound, or a black, I'm sorry, and then a smooth, unfinished side, go with this one right here. If you just want a double-sided strop, one that is a little bit more broad for bigger blades, go with this one. But both of those are extremely comfortable, very well made. And then this one right here, I don't use it a ton, at least not right now, but for me, carving season kind of begins whenever the weather starts to get cold, and it is getting cold right now, which is super nice. So I'll probably throw this one in my carving kit, just with my little carving knife and my hook knife for making spoons. But that is just kind of a quick look at these right here. Let's go ahead, let's set these to the side though, because I do have a couple of other things up here. We'll actually leave this one because we're going to do something with it. We'll lay our travel strops to the side. Now, this right here, this is from Lansky. And what I really like about it is if you've got a little bit of rust on your blade, which I do right here, and let me actually stand up, that way I can make sure that I am good and within frame. Let's see, we'll move my light over real quick. There we go. All right, so there is a little bit of surface rust on this blade right here, and this one is the BPS Fin Light. This is a new little carving knife that I'm trying out. Really like this one, but I keep one of these little Lansky rust erasers here on my workbench just for this occasion. So right here, there is a little bit of surface rust starting. I actually cut some potatoes with this knife last night. So let's go ahead and we'll remove that rust right off of there. And that's how easy it is with this little product. I found this one on a Smoky Mountain Knife Works trip one time. They also have case erase. Case erase is really nice, but this is just what I happened to find on that trip, and I put that one on my workbench. Now, typically what I'll do, strops are flying everywhere, y'all. All right, for my carbon steel knives, this is typically kind of the next step that I like to do. This is something that I photographed for a subscription box a little while back, and I just keep it right here on my desk, or my workbench rather. This is from Knife Pivot Lube, and what I'll do is I'll just give this a real good shake, and then I will spray that on, and this has been really nice for keeping rust at bay. And then I've just got a little shop towel that I keep up here. I've got a few of these, and I'll just kind of rub that in. So just like that, we've took care of just that little bit of surface rust that was starting to happen, and made it look good as new. And then we've also went ahead and put a protective coating on it. And that's typically what I would do after I do a strop like this. And then there's several other things, and if y'all are interested, I can do a more in-depth video about things that I keep on my workbench. But I keep some axe wax, and this is really good for handles. If I know I'm going to be out in like really wet weather for wood, I'll use axe wax. I also use that for little leather sheaths and things like that. I have a few different types of wax, but that's the one that I've been using here recently. This is from my buddy Jamie Burley. This is pine tar handle syrup. So I actually will use this on my wooden handles for axes and knives, and I'll apply it overnight and then just wrap it in a paper towel. And this is really nice for just kind of preserving and bringing new life back into your wooden handles. Now, next up, let's go ahead and let's kind of tidy the workspace back up. As I talked about earlier, this has a lot of steel buildup on it right now, and I wanted to show you all just a quick trick on getting that off, because this is actually something that isn't very common knowledge, which kind of surprises me. So what I'll do is I will just fold up a paper towel. You can use a shop towel, whatever. I do this just so that I can throw it away. And then I use just whatever cooking oil I've got. So this one just happens to be vegetable oil. I was frying up some chicken last night and had some left over. And I will just dab it like that right there. And then rub it on the strop. And what this is going to do, and you're going to quickly see it when I move this paper towel back up, is it's going to start taking off some of that black right there. And this will remove a little bit of the stropping compound as well, but as long as you have loaded it up really well to begin with, you should be fine. And you don't have to use a lot of pressure right here, but just go ahead and rub that vegetable oil back and forth on there. And what this does is it brings back the green compound that is below that steel, brings it back to the surface while removing a lot of that steel buildup. And so if you ever kind of are noticing when you're stropping, and man, we're just using the little BPS a ton, it is a Scandi, and that's typically what I like to strop. But anyways, if you're noticing that your knife is just like almost gliding over the strop, and you're like, man, that just feels like it's like moving over glass, and it doesn't feel like it has any just kind of grip to it, then that probably means that you've got quite a bit of buildup on it, and you can visually see it as well. This one right here will end up looking a lot more green once this vegetable oil dries. But that is just kind of a quick tip on getting those strops back to life. All right, so there's just a quick look at the knife strops and a few little accessories that I use here on the workbench. So let's talk about blade steels. This one that I was touching up because it needed a touch up. I've been using this one a lot, so I used it. But this one right here, this one is like 1066 carbon steel, so very similar to 1075, 1095, just a little bit on the softer side. Obviously, a strop is going to do wonders for that because it is a softer steel, but let's talk about something along the lines of CPM 3V. I do get questions often, okay, well, can it strop back CPM 3V? And my answer is yes. So what I like to do is, as I told you all, I keep a knife strop with me at all times in my bag, and just whenever I'm done with a task, I'll just take a minute or two and just strop it back. So CPM 3V, especially these from Reef Knives, I've had nothing but great experiences stropping these back. And then also I've been experimenting a little bit, as a lot of people have lately, with MagnaCut. And this one right here is the Reef Circadian in MagnaCut. There's MagnaCut right over there. And I've had good experiences stropping this back as well. Again, the trick is once you're done, so you process a fish, or you're cleaning a deer or whatever, go ahead and strop it in between doing work. That way it doesn't get too far gone. Now, if you do get too far gone and you've got chips in your blade or anything like that, then you're going to need to work up to something like the Work Sharp field sharpener here. You're going to need diamond, you're going to need, I've got that one reversed right now, but diamond, you're going to need it, or you're going to need at a minimum a ceramic to be able to fix that damage. But if you're using your knife and you don't have any chips or anything like that, then leather is going to be more than enough for you. So anyways, that's just a really quick look at how I strop, and then just a few of the little odds and ends that I like to use here on the workbench, and then also a few in the field. If you've got any questions or you want to check out a little bit more about these products, then I'll have them all linked down in the description, just because every YouTuber does, right? But anyways, I've got all that stuff linked down in the description for you. That way you can check it out. And if you enjoy these videos, please definitely hit the subscribe button to stick around. Hit the like button. That lets me know that this video resonated with you all. Drop me a comment if you've got any questions or things to add to the conversation. And until then, I hope that you get out and enjoy using your knives, bring them back to your workbench or around the campfire, get them all stropped up and shaven sharp again. And yeah, I will catch you all in the next one. And until then, have a blessed day.